And good evening, folks. Welcome back to Undercover ET. I hope everyone is doing really well. Thank you so much for all the comments in the last video. Guys, I understand where you're coming from, okay? Some of you are like, oh, it's never going to happen. I hope it happens in my lifetime. For some people, they've been waiting many years for this to come out. And I pray for you guys that have been waiting longer than I have, that it does. I've got a real feeling that it is, guys. I just do. It's time. It really is time. People are moving forward. Things are happening which you wouldn't expect to happen, including now UFO sightings in Greenland. And it just so happens I'm going to show that today. Ironic, isn't it, that Trump wants to now take Greenland. And he said in a news report on Air Force One that basically if he doesn't take it, China or Russia will.
New York Post treats me semi-fairly. So go ahead.
One group taking your threats very seriously is Greenland. Are you still thinking of military action there, or is there anything they can...
Where? Military action.
Greenland. Is there anything they can offer you for a deal?
If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will. And I'm not letting that happen. If we don't take Greenland, Russia or China will take Greenland. And I am not going to let that happen.
That's quite concerning, to be honest with you. Me being in the UK, Greenland being just north of us, we don't want our enemies there, of course, or anyone that's going to be a threat to us. And look, they've already got submarines pottering around, so maybe it would be a good idea for one of us to take it. Should it be America or should it be the UK? I don't know. I think it should be a bit of both, to be honest with you. I feel like trade would work really well between the US and the UK if that was the case, if they had that there as well. Be great for us. Could work great for everyone if people had good intentions, right? But that's the problem, intention. What is the intention? And to be honest, if there was no threat, Greenland should just have their country the way it is, the people that live there. But unfortunately, it is guarded by two dogs with sleds. That's it. There's no army there, guys. So look, if countries want to take it, they could probably do it quite easily, unless there's intervention. And I can kind of see where Trump's coming from, depending on what's going on with this. And this is all stuff that's going on behind closed doors, right? The UFO topic. It is going to be coming out, I'm sure. I don't think he's going to discuss openly right now why he really wants to take Greenland. But it could partly be to do with this, and I believe it would be. We're going to go over a couple of interesting things as well. A post from Jack Valet, posted by Juan. Also, we're going to go over something very interesting at the end, and I hope it kind of ties in with what we're seeing in terms of these sources and the activation, how they all work, and the twiddly bits in between. Really cool write-up, and it's narrated by an AI voice, so it's not done by me, but I'll let you know who it was done by. But guys, as always, like and subscribe. We do need your support the public's evidence, support disclosure. And before we go any further, I just want to say rest in peace, Erich Von Daniken. The guy's done some amazing things. I just want to read a quick post from Michael Saller. Michael Saller says, very sad to hear about Erich Von Daniken's passing. He was a giant in the field of archeoastronomy, and his Chariots of the God series introduced the theory of ancient astronauts to millions of readers. He will be missed, but his legacy will live forever. And you're damn right it will, because that theory right there, I believe, is completely true. There are ancient astronauts out there, guys. They might not be human, but they are living, intelligent, and visiting this planet without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to continue the research no matter how primitive it is. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a physicist, I'm not an astronomer. I'm just someone with a good bit of vision, and I know what I'm looking at, guys. And that ties in really well into my next post. UAP Juan. Jacques Vallée. Everyone knows who Jacques Vallée is, guys. It is at a level of multiple universes and control systems of consciousness that the UFO phenomena becomes scientifically interesting, not at a simplistic level of a search for a propulsion system of unidentified flying objects. Depends on where you are in the totem pole. That's the core secret. Quote from SF1. Guys, I love this quote because it's very much on point. Level of multiple universes and control of consciousness is the UFO phenomena, and that's where it becomes scientifically interesting. Okay, it's not scientifically interesting because they have a propulsion system. It's something beyond that, something beyond creation. something beyond manufacturing. That's pretty mad. That's kind of what he's trying to say there. And it's for the most part real. It's crazy stuff. And you see, guys, how some of these things fly elegantly. I always use the word elegant because they are. And that's not conventional flying method. That's not conventional visual flying method that we're used to. So when you're seeing planes, you're seeing them go a certain way, you know, basically front end going front, tail being at the back, wings being either side. Helicopter, same deal, but the propellers on the top. We're looking for something conventional when we should be looking for something very much unconventional. And look, here's the reality, guys. If there's a saucer about the size of a car doing some crazy ass maneuvers in the sky, not going incredibly fast, but going fast enough that it couldn't really do those maneuvers if it's a vehicle, you would think from a distance that would being a small dot that it's just a bird. You would. And the only way you would know if it was anything different is if you got your camera on it and checked. And that's what we don't do, right? That's what we don't do. Now imagine if it's not something the size of a car and it's something the size of a basketball, like a Dragon UAP, for instance. This is where it starts getting difficult, because from the ground, it's very, very difficult to pick that stuff up. But, you know, from elevation, you may get a better shot. Or if you're lucky, if you zoom in at the right moment, like Ben did, you end up with the gold. So this is where we've got to be careful. We've got to be realistic. But also, we've got to know that it's very, very possible to capture this sort of stuff in the sky, guys. And yeah, Jacques Vallée, love the quote, honestly. It's pretty amazing. What we're looking at here, it's just our very instincts push us away from what we really are trying to find, you know, and that's what it's all about. It's about battling our instincts. It's awesome stuff. Thanks very much. All right, we're on to News Nation. Ross Coulthard, he's talking with his guest regarding this Greenland sighting. Let's have a listen and a watch.
What are they doing that made you think it was a task that they were performing?
Just the way they came up and another object came up, and then they sort of met and did like different kind of maneuvers around and then shut off. It seems like it was, I don't know, like a point where they were coming in and out from. It's highly speculative. We don't know anything about what this is, what it actually is, but it looks anomalous. That's the only thing I can conclude, right?
What direction? I mean, obviously you saw the large glowing orb come up from behind the mountain. From where that orb rose, is it solid land that it must have come out of, or is it valleys? I mean, what are we talking about? Did it come from within the ice cap, or what's behind that mountain?
That's the big question. What's behind that mountain is just ice. So during our second trip up there, we actually chartered a helicopter. And I must say, this is fully self-funded. So it has been quite an expensive thing to do, but we need to figure out what this is about. So we chartered a helicopter up there to the top of the mountain where you see the lights come up from. And we have had very good weather, and we have like the most beautiful scenery with northern lights that we could almost touch up there. It was actually, it's a bit of a luxury problem, but it actually hindered our view a bit with all the northern lights. But we saw the lights as well come up, and it was very difficult to say where they came up from, if it was beneath the ice, from behind the horizon. It seemed at that point like it was further away, and that kind of correlates with our feelings about this playing with us. It has been playing with us since we started doing this whole documentary project.
Don't they just, guys? So look, you're not the only ones that struggle with point of reference, okay? Even people that are like been seeing this stuff for a little while now are really struggling with the point of reference, and they don't know where they're coming from, right? And the mystery is, because they're half expecting them to come from really high up, and yet they're coming up from the ground a lot of the time. And that's because, guys, they're transmedium. They can go through hard objects. And we've been saying this for a while. They also give off X-rays, X and K band radio hits as well. And it's not just the orbs. I don't know how many different ones can fly through objects, or whether there's an on and off switch button, or whether they just have to turn a certain way and they can go transmedium, turn back. No idea, okay? Maybe what I'm about to show you will explain at least some of that. Maybe. I would like to know all your thoughts in the comments, because like I say guys, I'm not an astronomer, not a physicist, I'm not a master mathematician. I can only show you my findings, tell you what's real and what's out there, and then ask for your opinion. Now yeah, I'm a UFO researcher. The reality hit me, you know, instantly when I saw what I saw, when I recorded what I recorded, when I asked people to record and I got stuff back. The most compelling stuff. I mean, these guys talk about little dots on what potentially, you know, they go into it and they find out it wasn't on the lens, and they got point of reference, and they got all this stuff that was seen on Skinwalker Ranch as well. But I'm not even talking about these black little dots anymore. I'm talking about these white objects that are passing through. I'm talking about sources. I'm talking about triangle craft. There are captures out there, guys, that I never thought we'd get so quickly. But we are, and it's because everyone's got a camera phone in their pocket now. They're curious, they're able to record, and of course people are coming forward, and this is a collective effort, guys. No matter how much you may not like someone for what they're creating or whatever, it's all awareness. And that's why I think we should all sort of band together and work together. But at the same time, there's so much pushback, and if people are on the fence with my evidence and what I'm putting out there, and believe me, a lot of people are, they just won't share it, guys. And that's where it's down to you. It's down to you guys. If you guys really want to showcase your evidence, please share the videos, please get them out there. I know what I'm seeing, I know what I'm analysing. That's all I can do, guys. That's all most of us can do. I'd love to be able to just jump in a helicopter and do some research like that. Not quite there yet. Who knows? Maybe one day. Just going back over the clip as well, I just wanted to show you guys again. Looks like that's more of an aura, and then there's a nucleus in the centre. So something in the centre pulsating this glow, this white aura that the camera's picking up. So the object isn't as big as what you first initially saw. That's how big it is there. And potentially a shooting star in the background there with it. Beautiful skies over there. I would love to get out there. Awesome stuff. Thanks very much, Ross Coulthard, once again, and News Nation for keeping on top. Sorry about the screen grab, buddy. All right, guys, on to Three Brothers Colonel Band. And this has been put together by Colonel James Hartman, Initiative Northwest Indiana, USA. Guys, I want to just play this for you. I want all your opinions on it. I'm not a mathematician, but I tell you what, some of the stuff kind of makes sense to me. You can see here just from this picture, there's a lot of maths involved. Visually, it shows a plasma ring. It also shows rotation of the object, and I take it this is a flying saucer, right? Shows the object of a rotation of the object from the outer frame rotation substructure, okay? And then you've got here internal frame rotation. This is crazy stuff. It's kind of like saying that the base and the top are spinning at the same time, which is why we're going to be getting this blur every time that we're trying to capture these things, because they are literally pissing around with space-time whilst they're flying up there, and we are taking a picture directly into that void. Guys, this is what's crazy. We do sometimes get lucky. You can capture them in moments where they're not spinning as much, and you're getting a more detailed look, which is what Ben in Oklahoma managed to do, but they do spin. And if you look at Ben's, it almost looks like his is falling out of the sky while it's not really spinning. It's almost like, hey, check me out, I'm going to give you a good visual. It really does feel like that. I'm sure Ben feels like that as well. And it turned up 6 or 7 times during over a course of a period of months. So really, really cool. They're clearly trying to interact. I want to leave you with this video, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Welcome to a deep dive into the revolutionary propulsion physics of the ENCA initiative. In this chapter, we explore how inertial mass engineering and frame control are transforming our understanding of movement and acceleration. Traditionally, propulsion has been limited by the resistance of inertia, but what if we could engineer inertia itself? This is the question at the heart of Colonel James Hartman's work in Northwest Indiana, where the boundaries of classical and relativistic mechanics are being redefined. Let's begin by understanding why inertia, not force, is the true limiting factor in advanced propulsion systems. Classical mechanics, the equation F equals ma tells us that force equals mass times acceleration. However, when acceleration increases while mass remains fixed, internal stresses within a structure can become catastrophic. This is especially true at high speeds or under extreme maneuvers. The ENCA approach seeks to overcome this by not just applying more force, but by engineering the inertial term itself. This means that instead of fighting against inertia, the system redefines how inertia behaves, opening up new possibilities for movement and control. General relativity teaches us that inertia is not an intrinsic property of matter. Instead, it emerges from the context of local spacetime curvature, stress energy distribution, and vacuum energy density. This means that inertial mass is not absolute. It can be influenced by its environment. The ENCSIMIR system exploits this non-absoluteness, allowing for the manipulation of inertia through engineered changes in the vacuum itself. This marks a fundamental shift from traditional propulsion concepts. Formalize this new approach, ENCSIMIR introduces the effective inertial mass tensor. Unlike the traditional scalar mass, this tensor is direction-dependent and is influenced by the engineered vacuum potential and the local metric tensor. This mathematical framework allows inertia to be modulated in real time, adapting to the needs of the craft and its environment. The result is a system where inertia is no longer a fixed barrier, but a controllable parameter. The engineered vacuum potential changes over time. The effective mass of the craft can be reduced below its rest mass. This leads to a dramatic reduction in inertial resistance, enabling extreme acceleration without the usual force feedback or internal G-loading. Importantly, the rest mass remains unchanged, energy conservation is maintained, and no exotic matter is required. This breakthrough allows for safe, rapid maneuvers without risking structural integrity. Despite these advanced manipulations, the ENCSIMIR system remains consistent with Newtonian mechanics at all scales. In the Newtonian limit, force equals effective mass times acceleration. The key difference is that the effective mass can now be modulated, allowing for apparent instantaneous acceleration, silent maneuvering, and hovering without traditional lift surfaces. Direction changes can occur without lateral forces, making the craft's movements appear almost magical. One of the most striking features of ENCSIMIR propulsion is its independence from Mach number. Because the system does not rely on pressure differentials, exhaust plumes, or airflow coupling, the craft experiences no sonic boom, no shock cone, and no drag-induced heating. The slip layer, introduced in the previous chapter, ensures that the external flow is completely decoupled from the craft's motion, enabling truly silent and efficient flight. Key maneuver capability enabled by ENCSIMIR is inertial frame rotation. By rotating the inertial tensor, the craft can turn without experiencing centripetal force. Occupants feel zero lateral acceleration, and structural loads remain near zero. This explains how the craft can perform right-angle turns, sudden stops, and zigzag motions that would otherwise violate classical flight envelopes. The result is a level of agility and control previously thought impossible. At extreme field gradients, the ENCSIMIR system remains stable. Casimir modes are phase-locked, plasma oscillations are harmonic, and metamaterial lattices suppress decoherence. This means that even under intense conditions, the system self-stabilizes rather than diverges. High-energy maneuvers can be performed safely, with the craft maintaining full control and integrity throughout. Even the most advanced systems must account for failure. In ENCSIMIR, inertial failure can occur if vacuum coherence collapses, boundary phasing delocks, or plasma resonance drifts. However, even in these cases, the system simply reverts to Newtonian inertia. There is no catastrophic failure or explosive energy release, ensuring the safety of both the craft and its occupants. Perhaps the most groundbreaking aspect of ENCSIMIR is its ability to enable propulsion without traditional thrust. By redefining inertia, the system allows for movement and acceleration without the need for reactive forces or exhaust. This opens up entirely new possibilities for vehicle design and operation, especially in environments where conventional propulsion is impractical. In ENCSIMIR, acceleration can occur without the application of traditional force. This is achieved by modulating the effective inertial mass, allowing the craft to change velocity rapidly without subjecting its structure or occupants to harmful stresses. The implications for high-speed travel and maneuverability are profound, making previously impossible feats routine. Traditional vehicles are limited by the stresses imposed during rapid maneuvers. ENCSIMIR eliminates these limitations by ensuring that all known physical laws are preserved while allowing for stress-free maneuvering. This means that the craft can perform complex movements without risking damage or discomfort, greatly expanding its operational envelope. This chapter mathematically closes the propulsion loop that was opened in earlier chapters. By redefining inertia and integrating it into the field architecture, ENCSIMIR provides a complete and consistent framework for advanced propulsion. Every aspect, from acceleration to stability, is accounted for within the laws of physics, ensuring both theoretical soundness and practical reliability. Implications of ENCSIMIR's inertial engineering are vast. Future craft could be designed without the constraints of traditional propulsion systems, enabling silent, efficient, and highly maneuverable vehicles. This technology could revolutionize not only aerospace, but also terrestrial and marine transportation, opening up new frontiers for exploration and travel.
So there you have it, guys. Really, really interesting stuff. Thank you very much. I'm going to leave you the channel link in the comments below, so please check it out. Aeon Casimir Initiative. Pretty cool stuff. I'm not going to pretend to understand everything that was just said, but in a nutshell, guys, and I can tell you the in a nutshell part, right? They've mastered maneuvers that would otherwise pull us out of our skin. They can go at speeds that we could only dream of. They do not seem to burn any kind of fuel or use any kind of propulsion system that we are aware of, which would probably mean clean energy and safer travel. Well, it would pretty much mean clear air, safer travel. You probably would have less traffic, so productivity would go up, or you'd get more free time, depending on what kind of future we're looking at. Health benefits, I mean, my God. If something happened to someone, you could get them to where they needed to be faster. Not only that, machinery would never go off. It would be so advanced. Results would come at a click of a finger, and we're going to go over this in a bit more detail with Dr. Shipe tomorrow, because he wants to talk about x-rays and stuff and their findings and his research and how it all ties in. But yeah, amazing stuff. Please check out the channel. I want to thank Three Brothers Colonel Band for putting it together, and yeah, please support him and give it a like. And we're going to leave it there, guys. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to speak to Robert tomorrow and go over a lot of the information and share it with you all. But with that said, I need your support. Please like, subscribe. It's free to do. Support the public's evidence. Get those cameras in the skies. Submit the evidence into me, undercoveretuk@gmail.com. And guys, if you want to get a membership, Discord, I'm going to start uploading more to Discord. It's really raw evidence. It's coming from the public, raw files, raw pictures. So yeah, please guys, consider a membership. Once you've got one, all you've got to do is get your Discord name to me and I'll add you into the server. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you. And guys, with that said, thank you, take care, all the best, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.